Hello again. My name is Al, and if you haven't been to this channel before, this is typically a video related to C++ programming, and not usually, well, more and more often related to my wallpaper. But if you want, the link to all of the videos is in the description. There's a playlist, and you can always click there to get to the beginning. Now, I just out of curiosity, I thought, for your curiosity, I thought I might show you one or two of my latest inventions. This one I thought was quite nice looking, although I'm noticing now is this redness here. Wondering what that's supposed to be. Well, maybe it's just nothing. What is that? The image itself only didn't extend the whole distance, but this side was pretty much black, so I just shifted it over and filled the rest with black. And aside from that, this weird red rash looking thing, it's a pretty nice looking image. I called it blue because the color of this smoke is obviously intentionally made more blue than it normally is. Cigarette smoke is, well, I'm looking at my cigarette and I can't tell. It looks more like it's white. The smoke itself. Another one I made, another collage called Black and White, I called it. And that's this one. And I think two of the people in here are the same. Her and her, I think, are the same model actress. Latino, I think. I don't know. She looks familiar. This image originally had like some gangsters or something pointing guns at her head. Or it looked like that anyway. I know who this is by face, but not by name, and I can't remember where I've seen her. Definitely in a lot of 1960s movies. So this is black and white, not by design, but by limitation. This I have no idea. And the reason I called it black and white is not because it actually is, well, this is a little bit colored, but mostly black and white in color is, well, she's not black, but she would be like a, immigrant or something. Falling into the category for which blacks, into which blacks, or I should say people of color now referred to, used to fall into. Just anyone who was not northern Europe, from the northern part of Europe, is it's taken over the role of the them part of society, which make up the majority of the society in the States I'm referring to. And so these would be black and these would be white, see? And so the image shows black and white. But one thing it's not clear about this image is that it's not clear that what is black and what is white is not black and white anymore. I thought it was an interesting play on words, as is or shall be the title of this video. I hope it should be saying my kingdom for a ruler. That's right. And what reminded me of that was I'd forgotten about all the things that had happened, and I clicked on this notepad here and I saw the letter A here, and then I remembered, oh right. See, what happened was well, I want to keep that. I was getting interested in this whole thing about the units of these logical fonts. Like this logical, remember this thing, LOGPIXELSY, which referred to something called logical inches, I think. It might take a while for the help to load up. Well, that's, and then there's this 72. And then there's that point size thing. Now, the size of this letter A has been specified in points. You know, how many points, the height of the font, the height of the bounding rectangle, which I think includes not much. It wouldn't be much bigger than this actual A. I'm not sure how to see it. Without going through a lot of experiments or looking it up, I think this is probably nearly 11 points, not pixels, points in size. Get the caps. Never go to the other one. I wish I would just remember. Log pick. Okay. Now, pixels per logical inch. So this is sort of like a logical pixel density along the screen width. Pixels per logical inch. Now the question that was coming up was because I was looking at this other function. Choose font. Okay, that's the thing that brings up that little dialogue. Now, where is it? I had a comment and I took it away. It's quite a comic comment. Now see, choose font has something called point size, right? But it's 10 of those units is equal to 1 point. So, so for that letter A, that would be 110 choose font units of distance high. Choose font units, which are related to logical inches, and the number 72. Strangely. But then I thought, okay, well, 72. If this here were in choose font units, then I would have to divide by 720. And 720 comes up all the time when they're talking about scan lines. Its high definition is 720p, right? 480p. The P, 720p. This and that P in video unit. I just downloaded a bunch of things. P, okay, P. Oh yeah. Do you want to think about that? Well, okay, now those P's are definitely scan lines. Now I know that my system has something like 700 odd pixels anyway in this direction. But a scan line is probably a different thing anyway. But what I got curious about was, okay, well, logical pixels, what could that possibly mean? What could a logical pixel be? What would it refer to? Now, it can't be regular old inches, right? But there might be a relation between regular inches and logical inches. Let's see. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out. I was just trying to figure out if there's any, like, maybe they're close. Maybe it's a close back. Maybe they're nearly equal. So a logical inch is something on the order of an inch in a regular scenario. So I thought, okay, I know that my letter A is 11 points high. 11 points high. And a choose font unit of measurement, 100 of those, or 10 of those, is 1 point. And then the 720 comes in again. And I'm thinking that perhaps one choose font unit of distance is 1/100th of a logical inch. So that 11 logical font. No, logical font doesn't have. Logical font uses logical units. Now, if we're dividing, we're taking logical points times logical inches per something, right? Sorry, pixels per logical inch. So dividing by logical inch, multiplying by logical logical units of length, and the logicals should cancel out. And the device dependence is placed in here. 72 is the magic number, and this here height might come out to an actual distance in tenths of an inch, let's say. Possibly. I think the value for that font was 15 or something. I'll put this in a unit test. Okay, now Arial. Okay, now logical font height minus 15. Now, if I change the font but keep this the same, say courier or anything. Calibri. Still minus 15. So that number's coming back from, minus 15. That's just a straight up calculation. Minus 15. So it's just going to give you the same. Now 29. 22 translated to 29. 11 translated to 15. What does that tell you? Well, let's start with the smallest almost we can get. Okay, minus 11 is 8. It seems like a linear ratio. But it's got to go up in step. 12. So we gained one on both. Gained. That's weird. Wait a minute. 11, 15, 12, 16, 14, 19. So there was a skip there a little bit. These are going up a little bit faster, right? Another jump of 2. 17, 18, 19. That was 4. Another jump of 2. 24. 3. It's about the same. It looks linear. So here was my question to myself. I just want to see, how, what the actual size, what is the height? Not in pixels or logical inches or choose font units or device units or whatever. How what's the height? And you certainly can't tell. There's no reference point on your screen. They can say they can display an actual length. Because you might push the buttons on the front of your monitor and squish things around or something, right? The monitor can't tell. It has its specification, but it can't be 100% certain. Well, maybe it can. Maybe the monitor can know. But anyway, the only way that I can know for certain is if I can find something, just anything in my house that will give me a measure of distance. And I can't tell you how difficult a job it is. I remember a long time ago I was playing these games. I got very interested in Sudoku, and sometimes I would want to play the same ones over again and try different ideas and stuff. And I remembered I went out and I bought a ruler. And I couldn't remember where it was. I couldn't find it anywhere. And I couldn't find anything in my house that would give me a reference point for distance. I thought and I thought and I thought, and I looked around, my laptop came with a book that's supposed to have, that would have the dimensions of the screen and everything, but I couldn't find the book. It's probably around so much junk here. And I bought other electronic equipment. I couldn't find any of the manuals. And I'm thinking there's got to be something in this house, something that, that I know what its length is. Anything. And after about an hour of searching around, I remembered, tinfoil! I have tinfoil! I have a thing of tinfoil, turns out. And I know those things, it tells you that, or paper foil or whatever, the length, the total length of a foil that comes with, and also the width. And I went and I found some tin foil. Or I found the dimensions on the box, and one piece of one roll is 12 inches exactly wide and 30 feet or something rolled out. So I got some tin foil, and I took out a bit, and I, folded it nicely, and I measured on my screen from here. This is very difficult to do because you can't make a mark on here. All you can do, like, I guess I have Notepad up or something, and I put this here, and I measure from the F, and put the F in the corner, and put the tin foil, and you can't just leave the cursor at an exact spot because it's going in characters. And then I realized, okay, so I'll just run Paint Shop Pro. And I ran that because then I can make a mark anywhere. And I determined the physical width of my screen and much more. First, I made a new thing like this, right? And I put the foil across the top, or what did I do now? I must have moved this or something and got one of these things and put a color, red or something, and I put the foil across here and maybe made a mark like that or something. Eventually, that was too difficult, so I cut it in half, and I tried measuring it along here and see where does it. I took half of it, so that's 6 inches, right? And I moved this to 100%, not what it is now. And I put this here, and I measured, and guess where it stopped? Right there. Almost exactly. At the 600, sorry, here. At the 600. 6 inches, 600. Right here. And I made double sure, and then I took this thing, and I promoted the background, and I took the little clipper thing, and I cut out, I did it from here to something like from here to here or something, and deleted it, filled it up with a color, and eventually I had an image that I knew to within about 5/100ths of an inch. So within a 20th of an inch. It was 6 inches long. I have that picture on my screen. I mean, nothing to do with pixels or anything. If I want to find out the actual physical size of something, I had this tool, image 5 here. This here on my screen is almost exactly 6 inches long in length. Then I thought, okay, now what I want is I want to put little ticks on it. So what I need is a ruler, right, which I can shrink or do something with to add ticks and then I can measure the length of that letter A, or the height of that letter A in inches, not in logical anything, and see if there's any relation between those. What I suspected was that it was going to be 0.11 inches tall, approximately. So then I go online and I search for images of rulers. See, I have them here. These are to scale, to physical scale, but of course only on my monitor. And just like I found, you know, this image. So the weirdest things come up when you're searching for one thing, you find something else weird. This one, like this image came up when I was trying to find a please wait image. Just turns out that happened to be the name of that picture. Well, here I change this to another one of my new ones. This is weird. I'll show you that later. The crying girl. Yeah. So what comes up? It's just funny because just in the same way that came up for please wait, this comes up. This picture comes up when I'm searching for a ruler with transparency. And why in the hell would this come up? Alcohol, tobacco, firearms, sexy girl, in like USA shorts. More transparency from the Conrad Deer ruler. I don't know, it's funny. So it definitely has ruler and transparency, and that's my transparency and ruler. I wanted to find a transparent ruler with some transparency. It doesn't matter, I can make the transparency. So I made my rulers. This was I think the one I started with. Yeah. So I took this, and it turned out that this is almost exactly right. Now this is transparent. If I were able to show this without any background window, it would be like a transparent ruler that you can move around. So for instance, I can take this and that letter A, which is gone, and make another one. Oops. And from that I can measure off and see how high that A is. I just hit print screen, and then I can zoom in. I'll do it again. I don't know why I even cared, but it was a curiosity. And actually, you can drop both images in here, or one image. Just take the ruler and put it in here. It's convenient to have a Y version. Now I can print screen this. Oh, that's true. I could put it inside the same image. I wonder. Yeah, I could do that. Center. print screen, have a layer, put the ruler on top. Now zooming in doesn't have any effect. And we can take the ruler and actually that cursor is useful. Zoom in some more. Now where are we? That's okay. Now this is 1/10 of an inch. And the cursor, well, so from the top of the A, it doesn't go even as much as 1/10 of an inch. It's about, yeah, that's 10/20. So it's about 9/10 of an inch at A. So it's certainly not 11, it's not 0.11. It's useful to have a ruler, especially one that I know is physically 6 inches at 100% resolution, so I can check these things. I can check. I know, for instance, that these things are actually at 100% are approximately 1 inch each. That's approximately an inch. Very close. 595, I think, is what the other ruler. Yeah. 6. This is 590. So 1, 2, 3. 593 of these units is 6 physical inches. Then I look at this thing, because I know there's something in the display that has to do with dots per inch and so on. Yeah, here, DPI, dots per inch. And I thought, I took my ruler, the one I just showed you, and I put it up against this thing to see, and I tried changing the scale, if you can, so that they would match. And that would mean, I would have thought, if it's going to be the same number of pixels, and the screen is showing less distance than normally, that if I made 1 inch worth of pixels, 1 inch worth of distance, then I would get more pixels, right? I would have a higher resolution. But it didn't. It does the opposite. I don't understand it. Okay. Well, enough of all that. Now I have some tools. I made this paper too. But the reason I was looking at these font things, and I will have to go through this in many videos, because I added a bunch of things to do what I wanted to do. Let's see. What I wanted to do is what I have now, although it probably has bugs, is this. I can select a font, right? Our favorite file up. I can say new, I have that saying new font. Now, one of the things that's always bugged me, especially with fonts, is that I could never remember which was the one that I liked. I go through and there was something I was doing, and or what I started out with. You know, like I'm trying to find a good font, and okay, let's see, that looks pretty good. Oblique 18. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a nice font. Yeah, that looks great. Oh, what did I start out with? So I thought, just as we have a recent file list, why can't we have a recent font list? And here they are. So no, we started out with career new. It's probably a good idea that I leave that at the top. Although when I select from here, the one I select from here will go to the top. Okay, if I select this, it should be on the top. Yeah, this will be on the top. And that one we were just looking at, close it back. So in order to do something like this, what I wanted to do was to put into the registry a logical font, which is those logical things, which are, it's a structure. So I added a general function for writing a generalized, any old, like a plain old data binary type to the registry, using that same sort of template-y thing, except instead of taking it's got a different name. It's called get and set, a binary type, right? And like the others, it returns something of this type. So this could be like a point or a rect or something, and we supply a default, and it's just going to do a straight up copy. So you wouldn't want to have a TS string or something, right? Because that would end up just copying a few bytes. Okay, but now once I can do that, and if the logical font contains all of its data, all of the necessary data to reconstruct itself. It even has like the name, at least the face name in it. Here they are. Now here's one. Now I was putting in just the logical font, but then I realized that these words, these funny, no, that should have come up properly, but it didn't. Should have said regular. These aren't in the logical font form. Okay, well, it was working. I've broken it somehow. It's saved off though anyway. It is doing the correct thing, but I forgot to. It's saved them properly, and I can set that text, but I've forgotten to set the text in this dialog. But I will fix that. That text is not in the logical font, so I have to save that separately. So I had to make a new structure, And in both of these cases, anyhow, if you add them to a list and you want to make sure that everything's unique, yeah, you need a way to compare. And so it ends up being a longish kind of thing. Like in basic here, I added an operator equals for logical fonts. And then when I added my new thing, a new operator equals was needed for the extended bit. Because the system, and I wouldn't want it to do a byte for byte comparison anyway in this case, because the string, these might be the same with a different case, but they're still the same font. They have to have a face name. The rest of the data should be the same, but the face name part doesn't need to be the same. There can be garbage following, and they don't need to have the same case. If I fix that bug, which I can do very quickly, you'll see what I mean about that. Font chooser, 0, and I'm just supposed to PCS and copy style and the current thing is not actually a logical font. Oops. It's a thing that has a friendly, but I don't want its friendly name. Stop, I want to stop. Member stop. Oh, I had a function. Did I have style? Yeah. I did have such a function. I took it out. I thought I didn't need it. Yeah, should do it. So I just want to include this when it brings up the dialog, to include the style. If there is one, it might be empty, but if there is one, I want to include it. Actually, there always is, because the default has this normal style. Well, actually, I showed you with my unit test that working. But still. So now, of course, with the ability to do that, just as I can make lists of string, I could make lists of whatever, right? A TS log font or a log font or a choose. Now choose font is no good because it contains a pointer, and the pointer is not a member, not pointing to another member of the struct. It's pointing to a logical font, which is not included. So you got to be a little bit careful. And I'm careful. And here are the previous fonts, right? And every time I just delete all of them and add them all back again in order to try to make the recent list does not take S and okay. This is the template version of string and copy. Truncate just make sure it's always null terminated. There we go. See? Then you get this immediately. And it's always bothered me that there was never any way to get back to where we started. And now I have that feature. But I'm only allowing 10 to get. This is the default. This is the default Notepad, I think. This is my preference. And these are some very nice looking fonts. Let's see, is that really? That's kind of cool. What about this? These are just fonts, but it's really quite nice. It looks like something that you made with a what do you call it? Like Word or something, a real editor. Well, this is a real editor. What am I talking about? A word processing thing, with fancy scripting, fancy lettering and stuff. With all these fonts, you can do that. Unfortunately, you can only select one. What I might do, actually, is take this project as it is now, and now change the internal editor part to make this a rich edit control. And then you can have multiple fonts and more undoing and colors and various things. You could add another, a color dialog to this. It took a while also to figure out how to do a sub-menu. So I've got to add in the reference section, adding a sub-menu, binary things to the registry, the logical font chooser, logical fonts, how do those work, and a lot of things, a lot of little things that I had to do in order to get the thing that I wanted, which was this list, and not just one. I could have two entries that are the same font. We take Arial again. But I wanted bold, italic, and 18. Now I should have two Arials in my thing. See, they're not the same. Oops. And this one. Whoops. Uh-oh, now it's gotten out of sync. Oh dear, dear. Now, maybe let's... Now I've got a bug. Yeah, see, it's growing every time. Okay. Well, it should reset itself when I quit it. Where is it gone? Yeah, let's hope so. Okay, file. Courier. Let's create. Oh dear. So I have a bug. Now I don't know which one actually is courier. Just gotta take a guess. Or just delete them. A whole bunch in there. Oh, I could have selected it. This always works. It's true. Could have done that. Now, see, if you make a mistake, then this thing is going to keep growing because I have to try. I have to keep these in sync. The registry and this list is in sync, and if they get out of sync, there's like one more in here and then in there, and I remove one and add another in order to do what this does, a recent text thing. Then it's going to get out of sync. It's going to get messed up because it's not using any information in here. It's just assuming this is in one-to-one correspondence with the registry. So I'm going to make sure that that's fixed. Alright, so that's just a little heads up. And I'll let you look at my famous latest wallpaper. There we go. And my ruler. In case you're not a native English speaker, the phrase, I should say this at the beginning. The phrase, my kingdom for such and so, is a common English saying. The idea is you're lacking in something, whatever it is, and you would go so far as to give up your kingdom in order to have it. So, my kingdom for a glass of water, if you were really thirsty, right? Or, my kingdom for a ruler, see, is a pun. Okay, it's a silly pun, but it's funny. It reminds me of that Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde, I don't know if this is true, but apparently at some public meeting or a demonstration of something, or a reading, he challenged the audience and he said to the audience, I challenge anyone here to give me any subject, and I will produce a pun within within 1 second or something. I will retort with a pun on that particular thing, whatever it is, within 5 seconds, because he was famous for puns. And apparently somebody in the audience stands up and says, "The Queen," to which Oscar Wilde immediately replied, "The Queen is not a subject." See you later.